alleging Diddy created a verbally abusive work environment.
I'm curious why you decided to speak up now.
I would say that this moment now is a time where I feel like my experience, my truth will really be heard and actually considered and believed.
Dee Woods sharing her story as part of a new investigation discovery docuseries, The Fall of Diddy.
From the outside, he was this mogul. He was this guy who, could make your dreams come true.
Unsettling scenes like this, a reminder of what it was like on Making the Band.
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little thick?
I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
He did it in different ways with all of us. Picking and prodding and just a way to chip and knock away, but then praise you. I see myself standing in those dark, scary, predatory spaces and hearing somebody say some of the most degrading things to me.
How was it predatory?
Somebody constantly treating you like a piece of meat. Only valuing you for your sex appeal. And in some of the environments, it was even scary to be by yourself.
Despite turmoil on and off camera, Danity Kane debuted to massive success. But that momentum came to a screeching halt when Diddy fired Aubrey O'Day and Dee Woods.
Based on a lot of things I've heard, you're not really a happy camper in this situation.
No, I don't think anyone has been happy for a long time in this situation.
Okay, so you can go too.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about that.
In the docuseries, Dee Woods claims she saw what she says were inappropriate communications from Diddy to Aubrey prior to their firing.
Was there anyone you could have talked to about it?
Absolutely not. Each other.
There was no one to tell?
Because what were they going to do? So it's like, how do we survive this?
Diddy has denied all allegations against him in the documentary. His attorneys telling ABC News the producers failed to provide sufficient time or details for his representatives to address unsubstantiated claims, adding he has full confidence in the facts and the judicial process where the truth will prevail. The accusations against him are pure fiction.
Are you afraid in some ways that he'll get out, that there'll be some sort of retribution?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, even doing this, it's like, maybe I shouldn't say, maybe I should stop talking, shut up, but it's like, well, not talking hasn't changed anything either.
Dee Woods has never stopped pursuing her passions, returning to her theater roots and even performing on Broadway.
What would you say to Diddy if you had the chance to talk to him?
Girl, I honestly do not know, but I don't think you really have to say anything. As long as I'm holding my head up high and my shoulders back.
And Dee Woods is still actively performing, actively auditioning. She laughed about how busy it is right now because it's pilot season, and she's hopeful about what's to come. The Fall of Diddy premieres tonight on Investigation Discovery, and it streams on Max.
Yeah, so there you have it. That was her experience when she was in her former group with Danity Kane, where she was making the band, and that's what she experienced. So go ahead, Ronnie. What's your take on what Dee was, explaining what happened, back when she was a member of Danity Kane with Diddy?
No, not that, but shout out to Dee Woods, man. When I remember the first time we did an interview with her, she was really, really dope person. She was one of my crushes back in the day when I used to watch Danity Kane. She was really one of my crushes. So to get that interview, man, it was nerve-wracking. I think people can actually go back and rewatch it. I'm actually gonna clip that up actually, but go back and rewatch it. It'll show you how nervous me and Hakeem was back in the days. That's a classic. That's a classic one. But shout out to her. Now, going back to the situation with Diddy, if you was a fan of Danny Kane making of the band, I was a heavy fan of making of the band. You can see how the way he used to treat them. He was treating them very unfairly. Everybody kind of already. It was rumored that P Diddy allegedly had a relationship with Aubrey O'Day, and Aubrey O'Day even spoke about it numerous of times. The reason why she left the group because of the way he was treating her, like because remember Diddy was dealing with Cassie at the time, so it was a lot of messiness going on within that group. But I always tell people if people want to know exactly what happened with Danny Kane and P Diddy, D Wood was the person that probably knew everything. And for her speaking out, that's why she said she knew it was going. She kind of gonna get a lot of backlash from him and from probably his lawyer team because remember she knows a lot. She been around them since the whole group began. So it was going to. I'm actually gonna watch the show because I actually want to know what she actually said when it came towards Danny Kane and the P Diddy. But I'm not surprised. Her story to me, I think they're legit. And then they're legit story because remember Aubrey O'Day allegedly used to date P Diddy and not only that, but you already know the other women within the group they have stories about P Diddy, but some of them are afraid to speak out. But Aubrey and D Wood, they're the only two that's not afraid to speak out when it comes to stuff. When it comes to Diddy, they are not. So her speaking out doesn't surprise me one bit. Go right ahead, Akeem.
I'm a little bit biased here. I'm sorry, people. I'm Team D Woods. I agree with everything she says. I support 100%. I'm going to go watch the documentary. She gave us our first big interview. We love her. This is just a classic tale of how women get abused in the industry and don't talk about. Women cannot talk about these things because fear of retaliation or some sort of big consequences. Might not be able because Diddy had power in New York. It could stop you from getting things. D Woods, Chaos Culture Radio supports you back then, and we support you now.
Absolutely. Yeah, Ronnie, I was a big fan watching the make of the band, when Diddy, was trying to make Danity Kane and everything. And you could definitely see how, when it comes to abusive with his words, Diddy was all that. He was extremely hard, doing, with the women, make sure their weight was right and everything, eat and travel and all this type, all everything and all this type of thing. So, and I only can imagine what, off camera, how he was, with the group and everything. And how and I, like I said, everybody didn't like how Diddy, how he dismembered the groups, of Audrey and D Woods, and how I think a lot of people didn't like how Diddy broke up the group like that because to me he wasn't the type of person try to make the group better or work on their emotional or work on the chemistry with the group too. So I think a lot of people at the time was disappointed that Diddy broke up the group and everything. So. But yeah, I'm 100% with D Woods. Wherever it happened, what she said happened around that time, I believe, because camera, like I said, if you watched it, you could see what he was doing in the way. He was seeing it, he was doing it. So she wasn't lying. If y'all could go back 20 years ago.